The concern right now is Fukushima. I haven't done a video in a few weeks about this, but I still have been doing a lot of research. And it seems like there's steam coming out of one of the reactors. It's reactor number 3. Now, for those of you who have difficulty keeping track of which reactor is which, you know, number 1, 2, 3, 4, they're worried about 4. I'm not going to explain that right now, because the best way to do it is that if you look at a map, or you go to Google Earth, and you can see it. They're basically all on the same facility, so this steam is very bad. The official statement is that they don't know where it's coming from. But the logical conclusion is to say that some of the material, the rods, they're melting down. There's somewhere that they can't probe. They don't know exactly. They're underground. And it's in contact with the groundwater, the aquifer. That's basically what I would say is an accurate general scenario. So, as far as worst case scenario, if there's a fire, because if it gets too hot, this material will burn and it's very difficult to deal with. If you remember 2.5 years ago when this first started, the major disaster was that there was the explosion. So if you look it up, hopefully you can find those videos. I actually should get a copy and just reload it. The explosion and the resulting fire luckily was contained not soon enough, because in that short amount of time, back in March 2011, it flooded the atmosphere with heavy radioactive particles, you know, such things as plutonium, and they got airborne, you know, supercharged, superheated, and basically spread out into the world, heading eastwards because of the prevailing currents. Now, that's not good news for anyone on the west coast of North America. And if you don't know about that right now, you better wake up and smell the coffee. So what's trending now is California, and who knows what the real estate's really going to be worth. People are trying to get out. If you have children and you haven't thought about this, if you don't even have the information, then I pity you and your potential good survival. The children are really more susceptible, because when you're an adult, your body is grown. It's been established to its standard size, and the interaction of all your organs, your biology is set, and you're just maintaining it. But when a child is going, you know, day by day, they are building their organs, glands are working. I mean, talk about hormonal glands. The hormones are going because those are the controllers of the growth, the development, you know, from birth, infancy, upwards, and especially there's a lot of changes and rearranging on that level, you know, the natural organic level, when you have adolescence and puberty. You know, same thing. That is a lot of work with the body, and that's why humans of that age, the youth generation, they put more effort into that, because everything's growing, everything's new. They're gaining height, you know, gaining weight, all that kind of thing is going on. It's the worst time to get radioactive particles lodged in to your system. For older people, you know, and if you're middle age, even, you know, such as myself, 30s, 40s, 50s, it's really, it's not as much of a concern because it may not affect you immediately. You're not going to see it within a few years or 5 years, but down the road, it could. That could be in like 10 years or so. And what could happen is if you choose to have children later on, it could have affected the sexual reproductive system. The reproductive system, if it gets contaminated by this stuff, you will produce mutations in your offspring. So, I think we're on the same page. Radiation of these doses is bad radiation. It's not like, it's too bad we have a generic term, you know. The sun's rays, yeah, the sunshine. John Denver, sunshine on my shoulder. That's radiation too, right? No, it's completely not the same thing, Ann Coulter. So we're very concerned here about this, and I'm going to look up the latest now that it's the new year. La-di-da, you know, we're in 2014. Believe it or not, that's an annual cycle. Get used to it. And the one after this will be 2015. But basically, aside from the arbitrary setting of dates, we're just in a new phase now. If this steam is getting released, that means more and more particles, maybe not necessarily plutonium, but the cesium is, I think, the major one that it, you know, if you do a breakdown like percentage wise, that's not good either. So these people called Death-plumes, I'll put that in the title, Death-plumes, just to get your attention. And thanks for listening. If you have any comments, I'm going to go more in depth. This is just, I'm just touching on this as the tip of the iceberg. I'm always praying, but tell you the truth, if a fire happens, there's not much you can do. There's no preventative measure unless we go to Japan and take over the situation. If someone's working on that, God bless, just get it done. If someone's not working on it, well, someone start spearheading the effort. I mean, what they're doing in Japan, I guess, is what it is right now, but they need help. If you have any ideas, if you're doing something, if you found out some more facts, just put a comment. Thanks for watching.